everybody, welcome to Lisa's Art Room. Tonight we're going to be working on this little house finch. He's almost done. We're going to be finishing up this painting, which is on a block of wood, and it's acrylic for those who haven't been watching. And we're going to get started on that in just a few minutes. This is the photograph I am working from, and is by Roy Herron, and he has given me permission to paint. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to just make sure everything's pulled up and hopefully get a sound check. I'm waiting for it to show. There it is. Hey Dawn. Hopefully sound is good. You'll let me know, I'm sure. Thank you. All right. Lighting looks okay. So it's almost finished. Honestly, it looks finished, but it's not. Not quite. We got some shading and stuff to do. A little bit of feathers. Teeny feathers. All right, guys. Let me go ahead and pull this camera up top so we can get started. Let's zoom in just a fraction. Let's see. Maybe there. All right, I think that's good. All right, so we're just putting on some final touches on this guy. So a few things I got to work on. I got to work on highlights on the feet. There'll be some washes done on these feathers here because right now they're white and they're actually more of a brown tone. I'm kind of happy with the red. I'm going to probably just put some highlight reds, a little bit more whites here and there, work on some highlights on the beak, a little bit around the eye, not much. And that's probably about it. This is very blurry in the picture, but I'm just going to kind of fine tune that just a little bit with some shading and highlighting. And just this little area under this feather here needs darkened so that you can tell that it's raised up. So those are the things I'm going to work on. Like I said, the tones right now are mostly whites and not these cream colors. That's because I'm just going to do those with a wash. It's sometimes just easier than trying to do it in those tones. So that's where we're at. I think I'm going to start with the some of these dark areas, just bringing them back a little bit. I might zoom a little bit more than that. I looked at my iPhone. My iPhone, it's very small, but my iPad, it's not bad, which of course makes sense, but I'm going to try to move this way just a fraction. Okay, hopefully we're back. It said trying to reconnect on me. I don't know why it does that, but it does. All right, maybe there. I don't want to get much closer than that because it goes in and out of focus too much on me. Let's see. So, it's like in this little guy. This was that grass comb we were using. It's got a nice small edge, and then probably my 10-0 is probably going to be the main two we use. I might use I'm not sure. I might use this little filbert grainer for some really light feathers, but honestly I could probably get it out of this, so it's probably what I'm going to work with. Looking at some of my others I have. might be a little finer. If I can't get the lines out of this, I'll switch to that, but I think I can get them out of this. So I want to get my darks down, so probably the same thing we've been doing, which is some black and some burnt umber. Hey, Nancy. I need a teeny bit black. My burnt umber. Gotta remember to move it away. When you're putting down your paints, you should really move your painting away because sometimes they spatter. You don't want to have to be wiping stuff off. Luckily, it's acrylic and it usually does wipe off easy, but just in case. What else do I need? Burnt sienna. Maybe. I think I've been using a little bit of raw umber. I'm going to put it down. I don't know if I need it, but I'll put it down anyway. Honestly, I need to use up this tube because I need to go buy a new tube. This one is getting too old. Like I said, who knows when I bought this thing. They don't have dates on them. I have no idea. Burnt sienna. There are a few warm spots in this. I might throw some of this burnt sienna down here. It's kind of a reddish brown. Just a little. Not sure if I'm going to use it or not, but we'll see. Alright, we'll start with that. Should I get some white? Probably. We'll go with the unbleached titanium. I've been using a lot of pure white. I might on that beak though, so I'll throw a little bit down. Okay, that should be enough to get me started. So I'm gonna mix me up just a little bit of burnt umber. Try to keep it a small space because I really don't need much. A drop of black. Just a teeny bit of black. And it changes it really fast. That should be dark enough. Where are my wipes? Alright, spritz all this paint so it stays wet for me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get that underneath the little wing feathers there. Just want to make sure that they push back far enough with a nice dark separation there. It kind of goes all up into here. And a little bit right here. I'm going to have to go a little bit darker. Throw in some of this raw, whatever I said it was. What did I say it was? Umber. There, that's better. And that should be good. Make sure this stays nice and dark under this one wing. And maybe just up in here a little bit. Okay. That's pretty good, I think. Got this little spot here has got a little bit dark. Put just a tiny, tiny bit under this beak. Just a little. All right, I think that is probably okay. I'd love to be able to fine tune those feathers even better. They have been the biggest issue with this painting because I went a little small and I can't get the detail I was hoping to get. I'm going to try a nice fresh line of this unbleached titanium and titanium white. So it's not quite white. Real thin. Let's see if I can just fine tune these just a little bit better. I want some like V sections right here if I can get them. Just a little bit. Okay, that's not too bad. I think I need a little bit of a darker spot in there. It's so tiny. All right, I'm gonna put some black on here. Try and get this fine line to show up. I'm just trying to get these to separate. They're really fat and they're supposed to be very, very, very thin. But like I said, it's fighting me. It's a little bit better. Not thrilled with that edge. I'm gonna fine tune it a little better. And there needs to be one more white stripe right there. No, maybe not. Okay. I think that's probably about as good as I'm going to get that. We'll add some fluffy feathers over the top too, so that'll help later. Try and add a little tiny bit of detail to this, maybe with this reddish brown. What I'm trying to do is just get a hint of feathers there. It's very dark, so you wouldn't see much, but I'm going to try to get the feather direction on there. I'm just going one direction and then the other direction. I think it'll show up enough. And I'm going to lighten that up just a tiniest bit. Let's see if I can get this on here. Nope, not wet enough. Go a little bit lighter. I'm running out of water on my board. Keep trying to sneak water and it wasn't working. Just a little bit of highlight there. Nope. Come on. I feel like I need to be all the way out here. touching this so lightly. Very, very, very lightly. That's better. And then I want to separate this one that's not quite separated. I'll just put a little bit of a hint of feathers. All right, not too bad. We'll go with that. And the dark's okay. Let me see if I can zoom any more. It's so hard. Is it in focus? I can't tell. I'm too close to my screen. All right, I'm gonna stand on my stool for a second and look. I can't tell. Not very good. It doesn't like when I'm this close. Okay, I think that's as in focus as I'm gonna probably get with this camera. Unfortunately, my iPad is not the newest iPad. I need a new one. I will break down and get one sooner or later. This is like a... Gosh, how long have I had this thing? I don't know. Let's see. I don't think I got it here. I'm pretty sure I got it when we were in San Diego, which would make it like 6 or 7 years old. So it's getting up there. I'm going to try and get a little of the, there's like these white things. I'll just pull it up after. There's a little like, I'm trying to show you, but you can't see. These like white spots around the eye. I'm going to try to get that, and then I'll put a highlight on the beak while I'm at it. So we'll go in some white and some titanium. I need to spritz my paint again. Don't spritz your painting. It's all cured, so it really wouldn't matter, but I don't need it wet. It's really close to white on that spot. All right, let's see. This is tiny. So tiny. I'm just gonna put tiny little dots. If I can just get a couple of them, it just kind of fools your eye into thinking there's more. No. Went over. All right, I can do this. I have to fix my black again. That's okay. All right, let's do a highlight on that beak. I think it needs more gray. We'll add a drop of black to that. Turn it gray. And a little more white to make up for that. I think that's gray enough. Just going to get some highlight on here. And jump into some water because it's a little bit of a blendy going on. It's hard to shade in such a small, tiny spot. All right, I think I got that. A little bit more here. My hubby's sneezing. It's the loudest sneeze. I apologize. I have to listen to my hubby sneezing. I'm just going to get some of this little bit of white while I've got this on here through these. Wow, I should have turned the air on. I'm melting already. It's because I'm concentrating. Whenever I'm concentrating, I get really hot fast. I want to get these little sections around here if I can. separated into almost like 3 rows. I'm going to pull this up, I promise. And if I forget, y'all yell at me. Some teeny tiny feathers through there. There's actually a couple little spots on this beak. This is so small. Teeny tiny feathers there. I don't know if I can get these lines or not. I'm going to try. I gotta make his eye bigger. Right now, the white got a little too far inside. Alright, let's go back into the black so I can fix his eye. I almost need to hold it. It's just so small. I lost my roundness there. An eye this small is definite. Alright, I think that is good. It's not too bad. Okay, let me hold it up. See what we're dealing with here. See if I can get it to focus. Is it going to focus? I'll zoom out for a second, then I'll pull it up. Yeah, that works a little bit better. There. You can kind of see. I don't know if you can see what I did on the tail feathers there. A little bit. It's subtle. Alright. About there. Whew. Seriously melting, guys. I think I'm okay on that beak. I feel like it needs a little more highlight, but let's kind of do it in sections so I don't go too far. More of that white titanium mixture. It's just the top that really helps if you get that highlight in there. Switch to mostly water. Okay. Each time I do the top, then I realize that this needs more too. That's okay. I'm good with working slow. Alright, that's not too bad. We'll see how it looks once it dries for a minute, and then I might come back to it. I need a little bit of a highlighty spot over his eye. More than I wanted. I don't want to wipe it with my finger though. I'm going to use the brush. A little bit big. Okay. Do I want to use for that red? I'm not sure. Let's work on his feet real quick. I have that other picture with his feet. Let me grab it. It's smaller. Alright, let's see. So we need some highlights, and we need to show the depth of that little thing there. So first we'll get that depth in there with some black. A little bit of burnt umber. If I can get enough on my brush to show. And I'm just going to get that underneath there. Too wide, don't go too wide. Okay. There's a little bit of a shadow on that, which I have some, but not enough. Use this, I'm going to water it down. Try to get a little more shadow on this edge. Okay. And there's a spot that comes over. I guess it's like probably a skin or something. Let's see. Maybe just a little more of that unbleached titanium in there. See if I can get that on there. It's somewhere about here. Oh, not enough. More unbleached titanium. Once I shade it, I'll get it to show better, but it's like just a little, I'm sure it's like a skin sheath or something that pulls down over the fur, the feathers, not fur, feathers. Try and get a darker spot. Might be too much, we'll see. Yeah, it's too much, but I'll shade it. I just clean my brush so I can just make that kind of show under that so it looks like it has some height to it. Good, okay, that works. And so this color, definitely got more red in there, so we'll go with some of that. What did I say it was? Burnt sienna. A little bit of burnt sienna. Gotta spritz again. And a little bit of the burnt umber. That should give me about that tone. Especially over that dark. So we're going to keep putting this in these little sections. I'm just trying to get it a little bit redder because it seems to have a little more red tone to it. I'm not sure how well that shows on the camera though. I'll try to pull it up for y'all in a second. A bit more here. Yeah, I like that tone better. That's better. And then how am I going to lighten that? Definitely like that. I think if I add maybe a yellow of some sort. What do I got? I have a vivid red orange that might work. Let's try a drop of that, see what it does. I'm trying to get that color lighter, but I don't want to add white because it just goes weird if you add white. So we're going to add an orange. See what that does. Just trying to keep it on the separations. So I'm just dotting because it's too small to do much else. Once I add that it looks silvery, but it's not. I'm sure it's a gray. We'll go with, gosh, I hate adding white. I'm going to add white because I don't know what else to do, so. Let's see what this looks like. So add a white to burnt umber. See if I can get just some highlights. really concentrating on the separation. His little knuckles, I guess we'll call them. I'm sure they have some sort of a name that I don't know. Okay, there's that one. I'm going to zoom up just so you can see for a second. I know I can't, my camera's not detailed enough to, so that's what we're getting so far right here. You can see the difference between here and here. So I'm just painting little teeny dots. Focused. Where is that? There it is. Holding my breath. I need to get those toenails a little stronger. I'll try to work on that. And then we'll come in and do a little more of a highlight. I'm going to go into some pure black for those toenails. See if I can get them to show. Right now they're not really showing very well. I'd love for them to really show. That's better. And this one looks about there. Okay. Put the highlight. We'll go with a gray-white mixture. Maybe, I think. When you see me do that, I'm just wiping water off the ferrule because it sneaks on there when you wash your brush. And it will get you. It drips down and gets where it's not supposed to be. So then just doing the teeny little highlights on each of these knuckles. Toe joints, knuckles, I don't know what to call them. That sounds right, toe joints. Some of them are a dot and some of them are longer, more like a line. So that's what I'm doing. Some I'm dotting, some I'm putting a line. And this back one, they're higher on the back ones. Like this front one, they're more in the middle of the toes. And then the back ones, they're more on the top. That makes sense. A little more highlight on these toes. And lost my color there. I think right here. A little bit right here. I'll lift this up in a second. It's amazing what just adding highlights does. All right, let me show you that. There's our highlights on our little feet. Now they look more like little feet. Okay, let's switch to some reds, I think. So I think I'm going to try maybe red light and see what that does. I need to clean off my board some though. It's getting too messy. And I don't have a lot of space, so just wipe off this. For those who don't know, the wipes I use are just water wipes, so they don't have chemicals, so I don't worry about it mixing in my paints or anything. All right, let's see what this cadmium-free red light. I do buy the cadmium-free ones because, you know, we don't need cadmium. Not good for us. So I don't know that they really cost any more. This is the cadmium-free medium. Let's see what it looks like. I'm just going to throw a couple of these down here, and along with that, we'll just go with cadmium red deep this time. So all three cadmiums, light, medium, and deep. And we'll just play with those. Let's see if we can't get some more tones going through here. A little bit of a spritz. And let's see, we'll start with some of this deep and see how it looks. I'm looking at the darker areas. I don't want to go into too much of the dark areas because I do want to keep those nice and dark. But I do want some of these just to be a little bit stronger color-wise. Not too much. Gotta roll. That's pretty good. So that, what was I using before? Naphthol Crimson. It's very similar to this cadmium red deep. Either one is fine. If you can't find one or the other and you want to do either a house finch or a cardinal, it would work on either one. I'm just adding in more tones more than anything, just to give us a base. There's like a little area right through here that's stronger. I'll try to get those little sections if I can. It's going on too thick. I'm going to switch to my other brush. Just back that off a little bit. Not really moving. All right, let's go back to this one. That little rake. Try to get the sections. I've kind of got them, but they're not real obvious. And it's probably because I don't have the highlights on yet, but that's okay. I want to make sure they're nice and dark there. So just a definite dark section there. And then I need more like browns under there too, which probably should add some cream. Don't mix the cream with your red. That's a big deal. Throw a little bit of that brown in there. Is that too warm? Maybe. Maybe about there. That was that, what was that? I don't remember. Because I never remember. Vivid red orange. That's what it was. Vivid red orange. See if I can't get this spot just about here. They just need more, a little more dark in there, so I can get that stripe going. I'll add some dark in a minute. It goes two different directions. It goes up and down, and then it goes sideways. I think that's going to be dark, but we'll throw a little bit of light there. All right. I'm just going to jump back over to red. All right, we'll go in this medium one, see what it does. So I'm trying to get more feather strokes now. Just a little bit. It's almost like a V on some of these. Almost need to paint upside down. It's definitely brighter. It's not a lot, but it's enough to make a difference. It'll show up more when I get the creams in there. Okay, and then that next shade down, mix it first. I need to turn or something. Try and zoom a little. I have some ways far over because it moves on me. I wish it would stay in focus better. Let's see. Okay, let's this through here. Definitely has like this orangey red. Kind of comes in this area. Just a little, and then it comes through here just a little. There's more brown there too, I think. Like that. Let's go right there. That needs more brown. Let me just jump into some brown. It's okay if it mixes. I need to keep that brown spot there. Kind of comes over that just a little teeny bit. Okay, better. A little bit darker. I'm holding my breath again. I have to remind myself to breathe. It's just a thing. I don't know if you're like me or not, but I do it a lot when I'm painting, especially this small, because I'm trying to focus so hard that it makes me hold my breath. And go back into some red. I'm not cleaning because there's so much brown through here too, it doesn't really matter. I'm trying to get some finer lines if I can. I'll get more when I do the beige, I think. Yeah, that's really not, it's hard to show. there's a dark spot right there, and then a light spot, and then a very, very small cream spot. Right, trying to line up below the eye. Yeah, right there, I think. Okay. And then a little more of that cream color. When I say cream, I just mean the titanium white mixture, but it does have some red in it, so it's probably gone a little bit pink on me, but that's okay. I'm just trying to get this spot. Can you see that still? Yeah. This little bitty spot, just so teeny tiny. Okay, that's good. And there's a little white through here. Oops, not enough. Barely touching. Need some more water. Oops, now my paintbrush dirty. Touched my black. Oops. Get that out of there. Try that again. My palette's running out of spaces. Find a spot. Alright, so there's little teeny feathers that go this way. See if I can get them with this. Can I? Maybe wetter. Maybe. Not enough. It's a fine line between how much paint and how much water, especially this small. I can't even see it. Okay. We're just going to use the side of it. I'm not getting the rake to work for me. It's too small. Trying to get some of these light fluffies. Alright, so there's a little spot right there which seems to be about equal with the shoulder. We'll see about here. And then about here. Maybe about there. And something here. Just kind of trying to get some of this white in here. Doesn't need a ton, but a little bit. So I will probably tone it down. Maybe, we'll see. I was hoping I could get these little separations, but I'm just not. They're just so small. It's close enough, I guess. Alright, so I wanted that dark brown in there. I can get that. So we'll go with the shade. Clean off your ferrule. And so where was it? It was right here. So his little leg, just over his leg, there's a dark brown section. And then under, through here, and then there's a little dot row that just kind of goes up like that. There's two or three of them. I don't know. We'll say two. Not dark enough, more black. All the way up into that red. And this one goes up to the red here, I think. It always amazes me when I think I have enough paint on my brush and I push down and nothing happens. It's like, what's going on? Not thrilled with that. It's not quite got the separation there I want. It's close. Wiggle it in there. I think I need my white to come over one more, maybe just one more spot. I need more water. Ran out of water. I rarely dip my brush in my water bucket. I usually just use the water on my palette. That way I'm much less likely to get too much. I'm trying to see what's going on here. This spot is bugging me. There's something not quite right. I think it's this tail feather. Isn't quite coming up where it's supposed to. There's also a little bit of red in there, just a little. I'll do a deep red. Just a little bit right through here, peeking out. And I'll tone that wing back down a little bit with some brown and a little bit of probably unbleached titanium mixture. It's kind of a medium brown. I just want to blend that back in. Nope, too much. The red's a little too much. A little bit. Once I think because I'm gonna wash it, it'll tone that down when I do the wash. All right, get off your feet. I was sitting on my feet. Sometimes I don't know. I sit on my feet too much. It's probably not a good thing. I'm sure it's not, but I do it. All right, I'll try to get a couple couple of these in here. Just like two. And then a little bit through here. I like that. That's okay. I'm okay with that. Okay. A little of that white mixture. Maybe more white than that. I'm going to pull this up in a second because I know you're not getting, unfortunately, it's hard for me to get close enough for you to see all the detail. This small. I'll try to paint something bigger next time. I always think it's easier to paint small, and then I'm quickly reminded it's really not. It's a trick. It fools you. I think I want more white on that side over here. Just a little bit. That's nice. I like that. Okay, that worked. And looking at the head. The head needs just some more dots. There's a lot of little dots in there. Good. Okay. What am I missing? Maybe a little stronger on the highlight on the bill. And something here. Nope, it got dry on me. This needs to come over just a little bit fluffier into this area. Better. All right, I'm going to jump it. Add a little more red back there. The dark one, but I'm going to add some brown to it. I don't want it quite that bright. I think I took away too much. I wanted just a little bit back. There's more white than I think there is, honestly. So I have to be careful. It's a fine line between the two, for sure. Nope. Didn't want to come off my brush. Alright, I think that's not bad. What was I going to do? There's something I was going to do. The beak. What did I use last time? Did I use my straight one? Probably so. Let's go back to that. So this highlight's much stronger than what I have right now. So we're going to do a very, very light gray. Tiniest drop of black in there. Right in the middle. I'm going to add a little more white. Because it'll dry darker anyway. I'll wipe my brush off before it dries. So I can blend it. That one. not too bad. Okay. That might be enough. Need some more white on those eyes though. It's just going small. I'm gonna try. I am going to try hard not to get into that black. Just dot it. Nope, not enough paint. Water. Water, there's gotta be a water spot. Nope, there's not. It's amazing how fast it dries. Just a little water spot. So I can get the tiniest on my brush. Dot, 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 dot. Nope. I'm really struggling with getting this to come off my brush. It's too small. There we go. There's like little tiny lines that I'll never get, but I'm going to get a hint of it. As long as I can get a hint of it, it'll be alright. And there's some really fine feathers underneath. Try to get those. They just come out of his little chin there. And they're much finer than that. Nope. Not gonna do it. Try it again. I can't get it. Okay, try it again. So fine. There we go. I'll lift it up in a second. I'll probably tone some of these down with the wash, but I just want to get them on there if I can first. A little bit brighter here. Oh, come on. Quit fighting me. Where'd it go? There. Okay. Oh, there's some here. Wonder if I can get them. I'm going to hint at them right there. And there's a little bit of a darker spot on his beak. We'll try. That one's a little scary. See if I can do it. I'll put the dark down first. And then I'm going to try and blend it. I think that'll be good enough. All right, let me pull that up. See detail. Okay. Is it focusing? I'm too close to the camera again. I can't tell. You can kind of see the detail. See a little. It's got like little whiskers. Because there's little whiskers on here. See little whiskers? That's what I'm trying to do. It's tricky. I got a good hint of them. Alright. Alright, let's let's look at the overall. See what we need to do. Sometimes when I'm not live, I will step back, take a picture of it, and look at the picture, because sometimes you just don't see things until you do that. I see right here there needs to be a little darker spot right here. So I'm just going to try and get that back in there. And that's that back wing. Just a hint of it. And I'd love to get this separation in here. Oh, that's a little bit better. There's just so much more separation between these white feathers. All right, and then what am I missing? A little more highlight there for sure. So let's go in titanium mixture. Not quite pure. Get a highlight there. Too wet. Do that again. I still got a lot of water there. I'm going to try to soak up some of it. It might have run down my ferrule. I can't tell. Alright, I just want a little more highlight. I think that'll be all right. I think I'm okay with my eye spot, but honestly, it's a fraction low. Try and see if I drop that. I'm going to try and move it up just a little tiny bit. See if I can get it in there. A mostly dry brush with just the tiniest bit of white on the end. Oh, didn't quite come off. Try it again. Nope. It's close. Just gotta be. I'm trying to find water. There's some. Well, this is pure white. There. Okay. Got his little highlight. I still feel like his beak needs to be just a fraction lighter. It's amazing how much, when it dries, it lightens back or darkens back up. So put that on, wash my brush, blend it. Better. Maybe on the bottom too. best to work in steps like this because, I don't know, it just works better for me anyway. I'll see it's not wide enough and I'll fix it. That's pretty good. I like that. All right, so let's do some washes. I might do a little more highlight on the feet first though. Just a little. They're not quite as light as I would like, so we'll go into this white mixture. It's almost pure white. But those highlights are pretty light. So I'm just gonna work on getting those. They just help his little feet look shinier. Definitely on that nail. It's hard to do, but trying. Second little foot. And maybe right here. Okay. Whew. Very good. Thank you. All right. Try and darken this just a tiniest bit with a little bit of that the red dark and some, if I can find a spot, some brown, probably the burnt umber. Yeah, that's pretty dark. Okay, I just want to get a tiny hint here. Small enough. I need to clean my fingers off. I'm trying to get it to do lines. It's not cooperating. When I can't do lines, I just do dots because it helps a little. Okay, I think that's enough. All right, did I miss anything? Looking. I think it's pretty good. I don't think I missed anything. All right, so I think we can do the wash. So for the wash, I want a little bit, I don't know if I want a bigger brush or not. It's such a small area. Maybe just a tiny bit bigger. We'll go with this little round. Nope, that's not small enough. Oh, I had a round. Where'd it go? I found my tiny little round. Is that it? That'll work. Oh, is that it? No, I keep thinking that's it, but it's not. Let me clean some of this paint off my fingers. All right, so what I'm going to do is just a little bit of a wash in probably, what do we got? It's a transparent. I have a few transparent colors. Let me find one. I have a transparent raw sienna. And I have a transparent burnt sienna. Maybe one of those. I am going to clean off my thing some. All right. All right, here, I'm just going to do it this way. I don't think I need this, but I'll stick it up the top just in case. I need a clean spot, so I just got to clean all this. Paper towels. Start fresh. Okay. All right, let's do a wash. So I'm going to try these colors and see how they work. So I think this transparent burnt sienna and this transparent raw sienna should give me the washes I need. The raw sienna is really close to these brown tones that I'm seeing, these undertones. So, decent amount of water. And we'll start with these brown tones. And I'm just gonna go over, well, let me kind of show you what that does, because just wipe it back off. Okay. So anywhere that it's white, and it's not really supposed to be white, I'm gonna go over, and we're just gonna put this wash on it, and it's gonna give us the tones that are closer to what we're looking for. Okay? So, that in a nutshell. I just sometimes think it's easier than trying to get every single color down. And I like the shading effect that you get with a wash, and I can always come back in and put a little more highlights if I need to. And then for that, I'm going to put a little bit of this brown, whatever it was, I don't remember. Put that in some of these darker areas. A little bit over here. A little bit here. Honestly, a little bit of a brownish. Where did all my water go? It's dry already. On that beak, I'm just going to hint at that brownish tone there and here. It's going to be subtle, but it'll be a difference. It'll be seen. A little bit through here. And then I'm only going to add back just maybe a tiny, tiny bit of light colors here and there. But most of this is got brown tones. tree really needs much, but I'll put a little hint there and there. So it'll just give it some character. Wipe some of that. Not quite that strong, but it's definitely adds a little more character. Okay. I think I like that. So I'm going to jump into some white with my finest little brush I can find. Maybe this guy. Where'd my white go? I'm just going to use my titanium white. I might throw a little bit of that brown in it. We'll see. What am I scraping the paint off of? Oh, my glass mat. It's a New Wave glass mat. It's in my favorites on my Amazon list if you want to buy one. I'm not affiliated, but it's just for y'all's convenience. But there is one in there. I put it in there when I first bought it. It's a glass palette. It's tempered glass, so it doesn't shatter or anything. So almost a pure white, not quite. And I'm just going to add highlights where there was a little more white still. Not quite, a little bit more. Just a few of these feathers. Add some highlights on the ends. Maybe just a little bit through here. Can I get it to stripe? Gosh, I wish I could. I really do. It's just so small. It's not too bad. Okay. Trying my best to get some of these really fine feathers. Maybe just a couple down here. Just hint at a few that'll make a difference. Okay, I think we're good. Make sure I didn't lose too much red. Where is that red? There it is. I can pull some out. It's almost red. I moved it, it got dirty. Try to get a little bit of it. And just a teeny bit through here. I don't want to lose too much red. But I didn't want it to be super bright either. This doesn't look natural when it's too bright. A little bit more think we are about done. All right, what do y'all think? Look good? I don't think I missed anything. I think it is done. All right, so let's look at it up close. See what y'all think. I'll zoom out so that I can zoom in. It's easier that way. What do y'all think? Look pretty good? Look like the original? Pretty close. I'll sign it probably here later. I usually wait for it to dry and then I sign it with a Posca pen because I'll never get that fine with the paintbrush. And I will paint the sides gray, probably this darker gray right here. So I'll do all the sides dark gray, and then I will do the back probably dark gray. And then I put all of my information on the back, like the title and my name and stuff like that. Okay, hopefully y'all enjoyed watching me paint this little birdie, our little house finch in the house. I think he's cute. He's cute. Alright guys, I don't know what I'm doing next. I really don't. I'll figure it out. I've got some stencil stuff I need to do. Transfers from Essential Stencil. So I need to do some projects with that. So I'm leaning toward I'm going to do that Friday. I usually do Stencil Sunday, but I don't know. Honestly, Sundays are difficult, so I'm just going to do it on Friday. So I think I'll do my transfer project on Friday. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but it'll be something with the new spring Easter transfers from Essential Stencil. So I'll be doing that. And then after that, I will figure out a journal. Like I said, I've got all that Tim Holtz papers I need to use. So I'm trying to figure out a theme I can do with that. I'm not real sure. If you guys got any ideas, you let me know. It's probably just going to end up being like natural botanic with a little bit of Tim Holtz stuff. I don't know. I'll figure it out. All right, guys. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I will see you on Friday night. All right, take care.